So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story to give you my background, and it's been also a little rocky road with the stone here and there, a little concern. And I'm going to start out like about 38 years ago when I was a college professor, and I just got a divorce and was probably feeling a little on edge because I was watching television on Saturday afternoon, which, you know, I never ever do. And I turned on the television and there was a program called Meditation for the Middle Class. I imagine it doesn't have a lot of reruns, but I kind of just sat there and watched this, and I was really taken by the woman that she had a circle of people sitting there, and then they closed their eyes, and so I closed my eyes and went through this incredible meditation process. And I had heard of meditation, you know, I'd never gotten involved in anything like that. Well, a few weeks later, this is in California, a few weeks later, she came to our city, and I went to see this woman, and she said, how many people would be interested in continuing doing this? God, my hand really went right up. I have no idea. And then she said, how many would like to just have a little circle in your home? And so I raised my hand again. And that was the beginning. It wasn't, you know, a guru came and hit me with a feather or anything. It was on television. So from that, I've done an incredible amount of retreats. I've spent 2-3 month meditations in Massachusetts, which I'm in love with, very Massachusetts. But the big retreat came when I decided I hadn't got what I was to get, and I had no idea what I was to get. But I had this incredible husband that said, oh, why don't you do 6 months, Pat? So I was in silence for 6 months. And in that time, a lot of things happened, and in the book, you'll see that it's woven through. It certainly got me interested in what is this mind, and what is this brain, for all the experiences I had. But one thing came clear. If I can experience this incredible, incredible state of happiness, and it can ride through me all the time, I don't need to find it out here. It's here. There's no doubt. It comes from here. How can I teach this to other people? I mean, people are not going to do this. Come on. I mean, how lucky have I been? And maybe people wouldn't say that when you don't talk or see anybody or do anything for 6 months but meditate, but I absolutely loved it. So how do I do that? So I got out of the retreat and immediately decided I was going to do a research project that said, what's ordinary consciousness and what's spiritual consciousness? Well, little did I know, a man named Maxwell Cade in the 70s was asking the same question. And through Anna Weiss and through Tom, I was introduced to the brain mirror. And the brain mirror, because I had no idea what's happening to my brain when I meditate. What's the difference between mind and brain? And am I really doing it after all these years? No teacher tells you. They just say, oh, that sounds good, go ahead and keep going. You know, there's not really much feedback that I've really ever received. So when I put the electrodes on my head, you know, it's just me in my bedroom, you know, putting these electrodes on my head and beginning to see that if I really open up to that place of happiness, wow, look what's happened to the brain waves. And when I collapse and get anxious, which is a propensity in my particular style, personality, what happens to the brain waves? And I said, oh my gosh, David, you've got to try this. And so we had David, and then we had the kids, and pretty soon I was working on clients. And one of my clients said, why don't you write a book? I can see, I work in the Fortune 500 companies, and I can see this just going through. And so I never would have written it, but here it is. And the book's been out almost a year now, a year in November. So that was the gestation of my process. But the real issue is, how do we teach people